As most of you may know, my name is Jared Kirschenbaum and I'm 15 years old. I have been living with Crohn's disease for 4.5 years and this is my story. 4th grade began like any other school year. I didn't want summer to end and I wasn't looking forward to homework. But my birthday is in the fall and I was about to turn 10. At my annual checkup, my pediatrician noticed that I had not grown much and recommended seeing an endocrinologist. As the school year went on, I started feeling less and less like myself. It was hard to stay focused, and I would get easily distracted. By the end of winter, the pain began. I remember trying to explain to my parents how much pain I felt. My mother spoke to the pediatrician and asked him what to do. He told her that sometimes complaints of stomach pain is really a symptom of something else. But to show me that she was really taking me seriously, she made an appointment with the gastroenterologist. But the new doctor did not take me seriously. She came up with lots of different reasons she thought my stomach hurt. First, she said that I was afraid to go to the bathroom. Yeah. She made me drink this drink that forced me to go. But once I drank it, I could not stop going. For 4 months. Yeah, it sucked. Next, she told my parents that I had an eating disorder. She told them that I was depressed and anxious because of my sister with special needs. She said that I needed to see a psychologist and put me on an antidepressant. Despite my constant pain, my doctor suggested that I still go to sleepaway camp, that I would be better away from my family. By the spring, I was in pain all of the time. I never wanted to get out of bed because I was so tired. I didn't want to do any of the things I loved to do. I didn't want to play Little League, my drums, or even have any play dates. I developed an abscess in my behind and it hurt to sit down. I stood at my desk in school and in the car. The only time I felt comfortable was when laying in my bed. But I wasn't just tired, I was angry too. I was angry that I was always in pain all of the time and that my parents were trying to force me to eat, that the doctor wasn't listening to me. I remember my mom packing my trunks for camp. I loved camp so much and I thought going away was the only thing that made me happy at the time. It was June of 2014, and in 4 months I would be 11. My mom made me try on clothes before packing them up. I would never forget the tears streaming down her face as she pulled out bins of old clothes for me to try on because nothing that should have fit me fit. She packed bathing suits that were almost a size 5 for me to take to camp. I was almost 11. She sat there and cried in the corner of my room and begged me to eat. Finally, the school year was over and it was time to go to camp. I couldn't wait to go. But once I got to the bus, I became afraid. How would it look to my bunkmates if I was always going to the bathroom? What if I didn't have any energy and I couldn't get out of bed and the counselors got mad? Would the staff try and force me to eat? Immediately after I arrived, the camp doctor didn't like the antibiotics I was on for the abscess. By nightfall, I had a fever, and the next day, my mom had to pick me up. In truth, going to camp was actually the best thing that could have happened to me because that's what got the ball rolling towards my diagnosis. My mom was done listening to the doctor and began listening to her gut. She demanded that the abscess be operated on. I was taken straight to the OR, and the next thing I knew, I was counting back from 20. My mom was brought into the recovery room after the surgery, and the surgeon told her that everything went smoothly. But then he said the magic words that would change everything. Do you know that your son has 4 markers for Crohn's? This would be the first time a doctor has said Crohn's disease. Dr. Bergman explained that I had short stature, experienced dramatic and rapid weight loss. I complained of constant stomach pain, and lastly, what he had operated on was not an abscess, but something called a fistula, a telltale characteristic of the disease. As soon as she could, my mom put the wheels into motion to get me back on the right track and get me better. She reached out to Kiva Barr, one of the chairs of this amazing event, who had lots of experience dealing with a child who had IBD. She knew that Kiva would know where to send me. Without hesitation, Kiva contacted the incredible miracle worker that is Dr. Nancy Pittman, and asked her for a favor. She told her that she knew a boy who was very sick, who needed to be seen right away. Dr. Pittman saw me that afternoon. She asked me lots of questions before she examined me. I remember how much it hurt when she pressed on my stomach. She looked at my mom and told her that I had a classic case of Crohn's disease. She said that my case was so advanced that we already had ruled out most of the medications available, and we were going to have to go straight to the injections or infusions. Both Dr. Pittman and my mom knew that there was no time to waste. I was almost 11, and on the day of that appointment, I was 44 pounds. Yeah. You all know how the rest goes: colonoscopies, endoscopies, an official diagnosis, and then the medication that we all prayed would work. I am one of the lucky ones. I responded to the first medication Dr. Pittman prescribed, and with 5 days of the initial dose, I gained 5 pounds back and felt better than I had in 6 months. By 1 year after the diagnosis, I had doubled my weight from before. I was back to playing Little League, doing well in school, and hanging out with friends. But the only thing I couldn't lose was the anger. I was still angry at my parents for not believing in me, and the first doctor for not running a single test on me. But at the same time, I was also so grateful. I knew what it felt like to be sick and sad and in pain, and now I'm going to take advantage of being healthy. Tonight, I'm going to give all of the parents in this room some advice. Listen. Listen to your kids when they tell you something's wrong. Listen to your gut when something that is being told to you just doesn't feel right. Look. Look at your child and see what their bodies and actions are telling you when they can't find the right words. Look for help. All different kinds of help, because your child needs might not end with a gastro. I am grateful to be here to share my story, and I am grateful to be heard. I would like to thank Dr. Nancy Pittman for changing my life, for understanding and believing my plan, and for being patient with me each time I was hysterical over a show. Thank you to Kiva Bar for knowing exactly what to do and for putting us on the right path. Lastly, thank you to my family, who held my hand throughout this whole trauma. The fear and pain weren't just mine. I know that my parents felt every bit of it right along with me. I'm grateful to be currently on the other side of this disease, and now you have the opportunity tonight to fund research and help us find a cure so that more of us with Crohn's and colitis can experience the same gratitude. Thank you and good night.
Let's give this young man a beautiful hand. Took a lot of courage. Thank you, Jared. Incredible. If you can stay close, Jared. Oh, what incredible.